Good morning, everybody, and welcome to a very important update on today's severe weather threat. So, the Storm Prediction Center has now issued a level 4 out of 5 moderate risk of severe weather across north central Texas, most of central Oklahoma, and into southeastern Kansas and far southwestern Missouri in the red shaded area for today. We have areas like Wichita Falls, Texas, Oklahoma City, and Tulsa, Oklahoma, and Wichita, Kansas in the moderate risk of severe weather today. We have a large enhanced risk from north central Texas around Abilene and Dallas through much of western eastern Oklahoma, Kansas, southeast Nebraska, southwestern central Iowa, and western Missouri in many of the same areas that got hit with yesterday's tornado outbreak. A slight risk of severe weather from southwest Texas through eastern Colorado, through much of Missouri, eastern Iowa, northwestern Illinois, southern Wisconsin, and north central Michigan in the yellow, and a marginal risk in the dark green from south central Texas through east central Colorado, through the central Great Lakes. And looking at our probabilities of tornadoes touching down within 25 miles of a location today, we have a 15% chance of tornadoes touching down within 25 miles of a location today across north central or far north central Texas, most of central through northeastern Oklahoma, southeastern Kansas, and far southwestern Missouri in the red shade area for today. Make sure you're preparing for a tornado outbreak if you live across the red shade area today in areas like Wichita Falls, Texas, Vernon, Texas, Lawton, Ardmore, Ada, McAllister, Oklahoma City, Stillwater, Tulsa, Enid, Oklahoma, through Wichita, Kansas, Joplin, Missouri. Numerous tornadoes are expected today, and several of these tornadoes are likely going to be EF2 or stronger, especially across this red shaded region today. So make sure you have your tornado shelter plan in place if you live across North Texas through central Oklahoma, southeast Kansas, and through far southwestern Missouri in the red shaded region today. A very large area with a 10% chance of a tornado touching down within 25 miles of a location in areas like Abilene, Stephenville, Dallas, Plano, Texas, through Sherman, Texas, all the way up through much of central northeastern Kansas, far western Missouri, and far southeastern Nebraska in areas like Topeka, Kansas City in Kansas, and then Beatrice in Nebraska. Make sure you're also on guard for numerous tornadoes if you live across the yellow hatched area. A couple of these tornadoes could also be EF2 or stronger. We have a 5% chance of tornadoes touching down within 25 miles of a location, extending into eastern Colorado, much of Missouri, southern Iowa, southeastern Nebraska, and down towards central Texas. And we could be seeing an isolated tornado all the way down to the Rio Grande border in Texas in the green area, all the way up through portions of the Great Lakes as well. Could see an isolated tornado in areas like Madison, Milwaukee, and Chicago today. Looking at our damaging wind threat for today, we have a 30% chance of damaging straight line winds of 58 miles per hour stronger within 25 miles of a location from north central Texas through central Oklahoma, much of central eastern Kansas, southeastern Nebraska, and western Missouri in the red shade area, with a large hatched area from north central Texas around Dallas through Oklahoma City, Tulsa, through southeastern Kansas and western Missouri. In this hatched area, make sure you're on guard for numerous damaging wind gusts of 75 miles per hour with a round of severe storms this evening, with a 15% damaging wind risk from West Texas through eastern Colorado, through much of the upper Midwest and Great Lakes in the yellow, 5% chance in the brown. And then taking a look at our large hail threat, this is going to be very significant hail threat. We have a 45% chance of quarter-size hail or larger within 25 miles of a location across far north central Texas through central Oklahoma, southeastern Kansas in the pink shade area. This includes Wichita Falls, Oklahoma City, Tulsa, and Wichita. Make sure you're really taking this hail threat seriously. If you live across the pink area, parking your cars in the garage, as golf ball to tennis ball to baseball size and softball size hail are likely to occur with these storms. Looking at the red shaded area, we have a 30% chance of quarter-size hail or larger within 25 miles of a location in areas like Abilene and Dallas, Texas, through Topeka, Kansas, into southeastern Nebraska, Des Moines, Iowa, and western Missouri. Make sure you're also on guard for numerous reports of golf ball to tennis ball to baseball size hail if you live in the red shaded area today. This dangerous hail threat extends all the way down to central Texas. Make sure you're also parking your cars in the garage if you live in areas like San Angelo down towards Eagle Pass in Texas. And then we have an isolated hail threat all the way up to the Great Lakes in the brown shade area as well. So timing out the storms today, first across the Midwest, storms are going to begin to develop as early as noon across areas of northeast Kansas and northwestern Missouri. And then as we start going to about 2 o'clock this afternoon, storms are going to break out across much of central northern Missouri into Kansas, producing very large hail as they develop. And then going into about 3, 4 o'clock, numerous hailstorms across northern Missouri, southern Iowa, much of Kansas, into Oklahoma. And then going into 5, 6, 7 o'clock, numerous hailstorms continuing across Kansas into Missouri. And then going into about 7, 8, 9 o'clock this evening, these storms are going to merge into a line across eastern Kansas, central Oklahoma, north central Missouri, producing very, very high damaging wind threat as they transition into that line, and embedded tornadoes in the line as well. And this is going to last through 10 p.m. Could be seeing damaging straight line winds up to 75 miles per hour pushing through Kansas City. And then this will continue through the overnight as this massive MCS pushes through much of Kansas, Missouri into Illinois and northeastern Oklahoma, even into tomorrow morning. Now, taking a look at our severe weather threat across Texas, Oklahoma, and southern Kansas, this is where a tornado outbreak is likely today. Storms are going to develop as early as 9 o'clock this morning across southwestern Oklahoma, northwestern Texas, producing very large hail as they develop, going into about 10 a.m., 11 a.m., a very large hail into west central Oklahoma, and then going into noon, and then 1 o'clock, numerous tornadic supercells are going to begin to develop across western Oklahoma, in addition to the very large hail, going into 1, 2 o'clock this afternoon. This is not looking good. Looking at the 12Z run of the HRRR model, several discrete supercells are evident in this run of the HRRR model, signaling that could be seeing numerous tornadoes as early as 3 o'clock in the afternoon, as well as large destructive hail across much of the state of Oklahoma, south central Kansas, northwest Texas, continuing to 4, 5, and 6 o'clock. Very large destructive hail, numerous tornadoes likely across southwest, north central Oklahoma, northwest Texas. And then this goes through the evening, going into Oklahoma City, could be seeing very strong damaging winds as these storms merge into another MCS, very large destructive hail as well, going into 8 o'clock this evening, 9, 10, 11, massive MCS, really gets its act together across Oklahoma and Kansas into West Texas. Supercells still embedded in this MCS will be producing tornadoes even into the early overnight hours, and going through the overnight, a large swath of damaging winds is going to push across most of central Texas through central Oklahoma, and this will continue all the way into Sunday morning. So make sure you're preparing for a dangerous tornado outbreak today if you live across northern Texas through Oklahoma, much of Kansas, into southwestern Missouri. A large destructive hail will also accompany these storms, so make sure you have your tornado shelter plan in place and your cars parked in the garage if you live across especially from Dallas through Wichita Falls, Oklahoma City, Tulsa, Wichita, and Topeka. Thanks for watching. Please stay safe and have a wonderful day, my friends.